Good morning. This is the Get Up and Go Breakfast Show. My name is Dave Burney.
I'm Brent Apperson. Good morning.
So, boss, we have on the line Mr. Drew. Burwell Livestock, Broken Bow Livestock. Drew, how you doing?
Great. How are you fellas?
Well, not too bad. Not too bad. Are you still using those muck boots quite a bit?
Yeah, I am.
Dumb question, right? We've had some nice rain, though, another half inch over the last 24 hours, soaking in kind of nice and slow. I know it's a mess out there, but boy, dividends are coming later on with this kind of rain, don't you think?
Yeah, it is. It's just been great for the, grass that's going to be coming on, and it's going to be great for the guys that going to be doing some farming here in the next few weeks, and it's just going to be great to see spring coming on.
You bet. You bet. Some bull sales still going on. I just heard the bull test sale ad for, I think, tomorrow at Broken Bow Livestock Barn, and I know those are run a little while yet, and then your regular auctions. You want to jump in and tell us what's going on, what's happening?
Yeah, we've been busier than a cranberry picker in November. I tell you what, it's just been crazy, but I'll tell you how we kind of got along last week. We called that way up market there in Broken Bow. It was 3 to 5 higher. Kind of surprised us a little bit. I think that was kind of weather related. Couldn't get the cows out of Wyoming and Colorado, things like that. But called that cow market 3 to 5 higher. Higher yielding cows were bringing 65 to 72. Middle range cows were 60 to 64. Thin cows were bringing 52 to 58. Those bulls are bringing 83 to 97. Rebreed cows are bringing $875 per head to $950 per head. And we called that cow market in Burwell on Friday pretty much steady to one in Broken Bow. On Friday, there in Burwell, we had a really nice run of feeder cattle. I'll tell you how we got along in that feeder cattle market. On the steer side of things, we had some 606-pound steers bring $1.60. We had some 612-pound black steers bring $1.71, and we had some 670-pound black steers bring $1.61.50, and we had some 792-pound black steers bring $1.40 even. And in the heifer division, we had some 593-pound heifers bring $1.47. And we had some 516-pound black heifers bring $1.60. And we had some black bangs vaccinated heifers off of Fancy for Kind. They weighed 833, bring $1.28. And we had some black and black white-faced bangs vaccinated heifers weighed 855, bring $1.23.50. And we had some Charolais cross bangs vaccinated heifers weighed 771, bring $1.33 and a quarter. And we had some black heifers weighed 638 at $1.42. That's kind of how we operated there in Burwell on Friday. Now this week in Broken Bow, got a really big day on Thursday. Going to have weigh-ups starting at 8 a.m. on the weigh-ups there. Like you said, on Wednesday, which will be tomorrow, we've got that bull test sale. Starts at 1 o'clock. If you guys need some breeding bulls, I encourage you to come in. And got a really nice lineup of those breeding bulls there on Wednesday. Got a little something for everyone there. On Thursday, got a really nice run of feeder cattle. Got some pairs, got some bred cows, got a little small dispersion of cows, got a couple nurse cows, and I'll just kind of give you a rundown how we're going to operate on Thursday. Thursday, we got one Jersey heifer. She's 2 years old. She's fresh right now. She's coming from Kurt Sullivan. And we got one Jersey cow. She's 4 years old. She's was fresh in November. She's got 4 good quarters. She's halter broke. She's been hand milked, gallons a day, coming from Chelsea Granzinger. And we got 1 breeding bull. She's a purebred Jersey. She's 2 years old bull. She's gentle, guaranteed breeder there. She's coming from Dale and Deb Stark. And in the cow calf pair division, we got 10 black cows, running age cows there. They got 1-month-old black calves inside. The calves are all tagged to match with the cows. Reputation brand that comes from Gary Mills. Good gentle set of cows there. We got 4 black cows with calves inside. Exposed back to black balancer bulls. They calve in October, November now, and so there's going to be big old strappy calves inside. And cows and calves both been poured, and coming from a Broken Box Cow Company. Then the complete dispersion, we've got 24 head of red and black heifers, and the cows are their 5th. Calvers on the first calf heifers. There's 6 head of second, third calf cows, and there's 13 head of 5th and 6 calvers. And they're bred to Red Angus bulls, and they calve in May and June now, and they're coming from Corbin Bigby. Good fancy set there. In the bred cow division, we got 100 head of black and red cows. They're 6 to 10 years old, and they're bred to Red Angus bulls. They're May and June calvers, reputation set, coming from the Bill Bigsby estate. And then we got 19 head of black and black white-faced cows. The 4 to 6 calvers bred to Cedar Top black balancer bulls. They start calving April 26th for 60 days. Complete vaccination program on those, and they've been poured, and they're coming from the 10X Livestock Homont family. And we got 15 head of red white-faced cows that are bred Red Angus. They're 4 to 7 years old and mostly home-raised. Complete vaccination program. They're poured, and they're calving now for 60 days. They're coming from Bill Downing. And then in the fall-bred cows, we got 8 head of black cows. They're bred to black balancer bulls. They calve October, November. A complete vaccination program. They're poured, coming from the Broken Box Cattle Company. All right, we get in the calf division. We got 300 head of black, white-faced, red, white-faced shark cross steers and heifers. 150 steers, 150 heifers, or 600, 700 pounds non-implanted. Green, complete vaccination program been running out. They're coming from Gerald Dunbar. Got 94 head of black steers, 5.5 to 700 pounds non-implanted. Wean, long time, coming from Glen, Christian, and Mary Hall. Got 80 head of black steers and heifers, 6.5 to 700 pounds, home-raised, all natural, coming from Don and Judy Dovish. That'll be a good green set. Got 60 head of black steers, weighing 675 to 750, non-implanted, home-raised, complete vaccination set. Real green, really nice set coming from Paul Johnson. Got 60 head of black to red steers, 600, 700 pounds coming from Steve Jones. Got 60 head of black and black steers, red and black steers and heifers, 700, 750 pounds non-implanted, home raised, coming from Lynn and Christy Ryan. Got 50 head of black to black white-faced steers and heifers, 4.5 to 525, coming from Roger and Janet Krause. Got 50 head of black steers and heifers, weighing 475 to 500. They're home raised, weaned, bunk broke, coming from Bruce and Brett Sponel. Got 50 head of black and black baldy steers, a few heifers, 650 to 800 pounds on those, home raised, weaned, complete vaccination program, reputation set, coming from Jerry, Shelley, and Casey Sheets. Got 45 head of black and red, mostly heifers, a few steers, 375 to 600. They're going to be green and mostly weaned. Spring shots coming from Jim Knudsen. Got 40 head coming from Kenneth Runback. Those are going to be fall calves, 425 to 500 pounds. Got 35 head of black, white-faced steers. They're weighing 6, 750. Wean coming from Bill Bigsby. Got 35 head of black steers, 650 to 775, coming from Tom Hosel. Got 23 head of black, white-faced steers and heifers, 400 to 475. Non-implanted, home raised, coming from Anson Bumgarner. Got 20 head of black, white-faced replacement quality heifers. They're going to weigh 650 to 700 pounds, and they're fancy, and they're going to be an awful nice set coming from Dirt the Peg Striker. And we got 17 head of black, white-faced steers and heifers coming from Bob Sklinski. And we got 15 head of black, white-faced steers and heifers coming from Rich Bader. We got 15 head of calves coming from Bob Rowlight. Got 15 head of calves coming from Terry Gold. Got 12 calves coming from Dwayne Hirschmeister. We got 10 head of Red Angus steers and heifers coming from Les and Ashley Wells, and we got 5 head coming from Harlan White, and we got the list goes on, and we've got a lot added to it there the last couple of days. If you got any questions, give me a call, 308-872-1105. or call Justin French 308-872-1421. I also like to tell you on Friday in Burwell, we've got a video pair auction. It's going to be our first video pair auction of the season, and won't get into too much detail on that. We do have one dispersion. I would like to kind of mention Ron and Darla McClary are going to have selling off the big part of the herd of their cows and a lot of the running age cows out of their herd, and get on the internet and look at those cows. Going to be a lot of reputation in that herd there, and I really encourage you to take a look at that. And if you're needing some pairs, we've got some first calf heifer pairs on those. I feel like buying those video pairs is the only way to buy pairs. If you're going to buy pairs, you can buy them with confidence, and you can buy them right off the ranch and not have to hassle with buying them out of the barn. And if you got any questions, like I said, on those video auctions, just give me a call, 308-872-1105.
All right, Drew. Boy, you got a lot going on. It's all good out there. That's great to hear. Keep up the good work. We look forward to talking to you next week.
All right, thanks, guys.
Thank you, Drew. All right, very busy at the barns. 7:41 is your time. Let's get in the mood. Let's get fired up. Let's get countrified. Right here on The Breakfast Show.
Does it go green, orange, green, green, white, green, green, white, orange, or green, blue, white? The flag of the Republic of Ireland, what are the colors? Does it go green, orange, green, green, white, green, green, white, orange, or green, blue, white?
Wow.
If you know, call us at 872-2801.
Give us a call and win yourself a prize.
7 days a week, when you're looking for a home-cooked meal, look no further than the Tumbleweed Cafe on East Highway 2. They feature daily lunch specials that are a great pick-me-up in the middle of your day. Don't forget, you can order online and pick up too, or make use of their handy drive-thru for extra fast, home-style food. They love serving Central Nebraska with the classics, from burgers and fries to chicken fried steak and pies, at the Tumbleweed Cafe, East Highway 2, Broken Bow.
All right, these questions here lately on St. Patrick's Day theme has been a little tough. What's the answer for that one?
The colors of the flag of the Republic of Ireland go green, white, orange.
Green, white, orange.
Uh-huh.
You can kind of see it as it's described.
Yeah.
Thanks to the Tumbleweed for sponsoring our game today. And we'll next Tuesday give you a chance to win a Tumbleweed meal. Speaking of the Tumbleweed, let's talk about it just for a moment. I'm thinking 2 eggs over easy, some crispy bacon, maybe not cooked too crispy, just somewhere in the middle. Maybe some toast on the side and some hash browns.
I'd go right along with that.
You can have that today at the Tumbleweed. You can have that any day at the Tumbleweed anytime. And they serve breakfast whenever they're open. Of course, they do shut the griddle off mid-morning so they can get ready for dinner. So your pancakes and waffles and that sort of thing you can have in the morning and to mid-morning. And then you can still have an omelet or anything like that you would like in the breakfast theme throughout the day. Of course, they have the noon specials, the evening specials, and that wonderful buffet that is available on Sundays. So be sure and check out the Tumbleweed Cafe in Broken Bow. It's open 7 days a week, and they open up early and they stay open late, so you can drop in anytime and have breakfast, dinner, lunch, supper, whatever you call it. Mm-hmm. In any form. And don't forget about that party room, that meeting room they have. Carmen and the folks will give you, all the space you need in there to have a good time. And they'll serve you food and your coffee and water and everything in there while you have your meetings as well. They're ready to go for you. Don't forget about the drive-through. They have that open. You can call ahead to the Tumbleweed and get your meals ahead and just drive through and pick them up. And they'll take care of you. What a great restaurant, sit-down restaurant they call them in this part of the woods, where you can walk in, sit down, and be served, or now you can drive through. Tumbleweed. Now, I'm feeling a little bit, got to tell you, I found out that when I sleep in my Ansley Lumber sweatshirt, hooded shirt, I dream about straight 2x4s.
Do you now?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, that's great.
Because at Ansley Lumber, they have 2x4s that are straight.
Yes, they do.
They have quality lumber there.
They do.
And so, if you guys out there want to dream about straight 2x4s, get yourself an Ansley Lumber sweatshirt.
Yeah.
Or build a house and buy the materials to build the house, and I bet you they'll give you one.
You never know. They got all the premium lumber you're going to need. And they got muck boots. Those might come in handy yet,
Yep.
Especially the early part of this week. They have everything you need, folks. Tank heaters, stock tanks to shingles, fence posts and gloves, many window and cabinet suppliers available. You can even get it delivered if need be. And don't forget about their blow-in insulation. Here's the deal with that. If you purchase the insulation through Ansley Lumber, then you get to use their big fancy blow-in insulation machine. Super quiet and easy to use. Comes with a trailer to haul to the site. Again, you get to use that with purchase of insulation through Ansley Lumber and Supply. So check them out. They're open Monday through Friday, 8 to 5:30. Open on Saturday from 8 until noon.
All right. Thank you, Brett. Logan Girardin is here from Arrow Seed and Broken Bow. Logan, how you doing?
Doing pretty good.
Good. A
little wettish.
A little wet out there, isn't it?
Kind of damp.
A little damp.
Yeah. Nice rain, though.
It is.
Yeah. That's going to make things grow and go.
It will. But I do feel bad. I didn't hear you guys mention anything on the news, but I might have an inside scoop on a news story that you guys haven't caught on to yet.
We love breaking news.
Yeah. So over the weekend, I don't know if you guys heard, but somebody vandalized a whole bunch of police cars in town.
Police
Heavens.
cars?
Yeah. They jacked them up and took all the tires off, took all the wheels off, and all that
terrible.
stuff. And I talked to Steve Scott,
Yes.
and he said they're working tirelessly to figure this out. But they also found out that at the police station, that same person took all the toilets.
No.
So unfortunately, they have nothing to go on.
Oh, man. That's terrible.
Oh, man.
Well, at least they're working tirelessly
They
to
are.
get it taken care of.
It's too bad they have nothing to go on. Thank you, Logan.
You're welcome.
Breaking news here on The
That's
Breakfast
right, you
Show.
heard it first on KCNI KBBN.
We'll leave it up to you whether you think it's fake news or not.
I'm just reporting what I found out.
Okay. What's going on at Arrow Seed?
It's a little bit of everything.
Okay, we'll jump right in.
So oats and peas, we're seeing a lot more of those going in. The nice thing with oats and peas, the peas add quite a bit of protein to that finished product or that finished feed. So it's going to gain you, or it's going to help your animals gain more.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's going to beef them up a little bit, I guess, if you will.
So to speak.
So to speak.
Okay.
So if you're thinking about going that route, come on in and see us, and we can get you squared away.
All right. And they're getting more and more of that going on. So is the supply okay?
It is.
Okay.
It is. And if you feed that to your cattle, you'll want to be sure to not feed it in a round bale. That way your cattle will get a square meal.
Nice.
You go ahead.
Keep going, dude. I'm loving it. Keep going.
I'm out of here.
So just, keep that in mind.
Okay.
But we do have good availability of that. We've also got good availability of just plain oats.
Mm-hmm.
And I actually had a call yesterday that I haven't had a call on oats for quite a while about food grade or about selling it for milling. Whether that's making oatmeal or I don't know what the end use.
For human consumption.
Yeah. Yep. So, but I hadn't taken a phone call like that for a few years.
Mm-hmm.
And I got that yesterday, and it got me thinking. There's a lot of alternative out there.
Yeah.
You think corn and soybeans when you think of food, but a lot of these small grains can be food as well.
And direct.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yep.
Doesn't have to go through the animal.
Yep.
Okay.
So we've got those. We've got both the oats and the oat pea mix. We can get those in either the big tote bags or bulk bags, or 50-pound bags.
Okay.
So whichever is easiest for you, the customer, to handle, we can make it happen. So the other thing we're seeing a lot of right now is alfalfa.
Hmm.
I think there's gonna be a lot of alfalfa going in. With commodity prices creeping up, shortly thereafter, beef prices should start making their way back up,
Mm-hmm.
and you need to feed those with something.
Yeah. And if there was a year so far anyway to put in a new crop, this would be a good year so far.
It would
Yeah.
absolutely would be. And we've got a lot of different varieties of alfalfa available, from your conventional, nothing fancy, plain Jane, put it out there and it'll grow, to your Roundup Ready. So if you have some weed issues that you need to keep knocked back, that Roundup Ready might be the way to go.
Okay.
And we've got everything in between.
I bet you do.
So that's what we started Arrow Seed on, was forages like alfalfa.
Yep. And I hate to use the word comeback, but forages have really taken a step out into the limelight here lately as far as diversity and being part of the program out there.
They have, and and we're seeing more and more of that stuff going in. And you got to think everything is a cycle. Look at fashion. You see some stuff that you probably thought was fashionable back in the day,
Right.
coming back around.
Yeah. Always comes back around.
And just like back in the day when a farm wasn't just 2 crops, they had multiple different crops. They weren't putting all their eggs into one basket.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we're starting to see that, see that come back. Guys are setting aside a few different acres, that might not be the best actual farm ground, and they're putting it back to grass. They're putting it into alfalfa. They're growing something for their animals to eat.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I think gives them a little bit more diversity in the marketplace as well, and the diversity gives them tools that they don't have when they're maybe raising 1 or 2 crops.
Yep, that's just it. And there's always a hay market.
Yeah. Some winters you can't find enough hay, so you never know when that's going to cycle through either.
Yep.
Yeah.
So it never hurts to have some acres set aside to grow some forage on.
Okay.
And speaking kind of to that effect, there's going to be a lot of grass going in, a lot of irrigated grass, and also a lot of just plain Jane, nothing fancy pasture grass. And we've got that as well.
Right. And what's the window on that again? I think you told us.
Yeah, so generally with that, you want to get it in the ground here, the first part of April through the first part of May.
Okay, got about a month coming up.
Yep.
All right.
And it's hard to believe it's almost April.
Yeah, we were just talking yesterday. Easter's the 4th of April this year, so that's unreal.
Yeah, it's this 2021 is starting to go by a lot quicker than 2020 did.
Yeah, for some reason.
I
think it's a good reason.
I think it is too. I guess we'll see what we think in October, November, December.
Yeah.
And see if we still think it's going by quick.
I think we're all looking forward to the remainder of this year in lots of different ways, but I think there's a real dam of how do I want to put it, economic growth that's going to bust loose here the rest of this year. If everything works out all right, we're going to be full steam ahead in everywhere.
Yeah, and it's going to be normal.
Yeah, it's going to be normal. Yeah, exactly.
Which everybody's looking forward to.
Yeah. Let's slip over to the yard side for a moment here. I know you talked last time you were here about, preparing if we're going to plant some grass in a place where we don't have grass right now or fill in. We're a ways out on that, but we might start thinking about that.
Yeah. The tricky thing when it warmed up a couple weeks ago, it got people really antsy to get some grass planted. The downside with planting turf grass too early is it's still March and it's going to get cold again. Mm-hmm. If it gets down below freezing, those new grass shoots, the new seedlings just can't handle it. So then they're not going to persist and you're going to be right back to square one.
Yeah. But we're talking Easter, we're talking spring, the underground plants that we would love to put in aren't far away, I wouldn't think.
Nope, which I actually have wrote down. We should have potatoes and onion sets in hopefully by the end of next week.
Okay.
So just in time for Easter planting.
Yeah.
Potatoes go in on Good Friday? Is that what the old
That's
saying
what the old
is?
saying is, and honestly, I don't know that I believe it.
Well, Good Friday switches so much anymore.
A couple years ago, Good Friday was in March. And people that planted on Good Friday, as much as it pains me to say, I sold them more potatoes later that year.
Yeah.
So I'm not a big proponent of
Good Friday.
Good Friday.
Still comes
planting.
down to the weather conditions.
It does.
and when it does land on the calendar.
Exactly.
Yeah.
If it's like it was and it gets too cold for those potatoes that you just planted, they're just going to sit in the ground and rot and not actually produce a crop.
Are we going to get away with this year as far as the trees go? Because for the last number of years, the trees have been fooled with maybe a week or two of warmer weather, and we've had that run here, but it hasn't got terribly cold again after that warm spell. It's like 37 this morning and raining. Now we might get a little mix of snow and rain overnight tonight, but wouldn't it be nice for the trees not to have to regroup and go again?
It would be. I do know I saw quite a few trees, and my allergies were telling me that stuff was starting to bud a couple weeks ago.
Yes.
And I'm hoping that we don't get down into the 20s from here on out, but we've seen that before too.
Yeah, we could. And for the folks out there who suffer with the bloom, you don't really only like to do it once.
Yeah, right. Exactly. I'd rather only be miserable for about a week straight than for a month, because everything's trying to bloom again.
Yeah, and year after year of stressing those trees is not a good thing either. So.
It's not. One thing you could do, we do have fertilizer spikes that you can put around your trees, and kind of feed them, give them a little oomph, give them a little wake me up in the spring.
Kind of a little vigor going into the growing season.
So,
all right. Anything else?
I think we pretty well covered it. We've got most of our garden seed in.
Okay.
It's still maybe a little bit early for some things, but you're cold tolerant. Peas, beans, radishes, carrots, stuff like that.
Be ready to go with that.
You're good to go there.
And Becky has some yard flags and things for folks to look at. Maybe they haven't seen before in the store.
Yep, she's doing a good job at putting a woman's touch on stuff.
Yeah.
That
we don't have enough time to talk grills today because you always get all revved up about that. So maybe next time we can talk about the grills, and it'll be a little closer to steady barbecue season.
Yeah, and it's coming up.
It is. It's already been here.
But it's always grilling season.
I'm kind of with Logan. Yeah,
there's
you can find a way to get the grill inside if you need, and
I grilled the other day when it was blowing 40 miles an hour.
Well, there's where you need more than one kind of grill. Right,
because you need a 3-in-1.
Yeah, because the pellet grills they're harder to stay hot in the colder temperatures. So maybe an alternative grill would be nice when you need the heat. Right.
It would be. Yeah. And we've had some customers come in and purchase our grills and absolutely love them.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's one of those things that until you see one in action, it's really hard to describe the Masterbuilt grills that we've got.
Stop in and check them out.
Absolutely.
Thanks, Logan.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Appreciate it. I love the, what do you call it, humor?
Well, yeah.
Well, that's what you call it.
Actually, it was news. What are you talking about?
Breaking news.
Breaking news this morning.
Yeah, appreciate that. News is next.
You are listening to the Get Up and Go Breakfast Show. Go, go, go! On KCNI, KBBN, Broken Bow, Nebraska.
CBS News Special Report.
This is a tragedy and a nightmare.
Boulder County, Colorado's District Attorney Michael Dougherty after a mass shooting at a supermarket that left 10 people dead, including a police officer. This man's son-in-law and grandchildren were at the pharmacy in the King Soopers getting a COVID shot.
The shooter came in, shot the woman in front of them. They hid, ran upstairs or hiding in a coat closet. Half a dozen cops came in through the roof and then told them, stay quiet, and they're okay.
A suspect is under arrest. Neither the person's name nor a motive have been released. Not clear what type of weapon was used. Earlier this month, the county judge blocked Boulder from enforcing a ban on assault weapons and large-capacity magazines. CBS's Catherine Herridge.
The judge found that under Colorado law, local governments cannot prohibit the sale or possession of firearms that otherwise are legal under state or federal law.
CBS News Special Report. I'm Deborah Rodriguez.
According to an article from KOLN in Lincoln, a victim and his neighbors trapped an armed burglar behind a door after he was caught burglarizing an apartment. On Saturday around 2 a.m., officers responded to a burglary in progress call at an apartment complex near 13th and P Streets in Lincoln. According to police, the 911 caller explained that he had interrupted a burglar with a knife inside his apartment. LPD said the 911 caller got help from his neighbors who chased and trapped the suspect behind a door until officers arrived. LPD says responding officers found the suspect trapped behind a door, still holding a knife. Timothy Uhlberg was arrested and is facing burglary charges in possession of a deadly weapon during the commission of a felony. LPD says Uhlberg was holding 2 knives while he was trapped behind the door, and during a search, police found 6 more knives on Uhlberg. According to police, they found a tablet belonging to the 911 caller, bags of clothes, kitchen items, and pieces of technology in the apartment elevator. Police said 3 other apartments in that building were burglarized by Uhlberg that night. LPD says Uhlberg is listed as transient and had a warrant for trespassing. Police said situations like this can be dangerous encounters, and everyone in this case is very fortunate that this particular incident ended without injury. An Iowa man was arrested over the weekend in southwestern Nebraska on suspicion of, among other things, stealing a McCook police squad car as officers sought to arrest him, injuring 2 officers during the scuffle. The incident happened around 7 p.m. Saturday after McCook police were contacted by police in Des Moines, Iowa, about a stolen car from Iowa that had been traced to the parking lot of a McCook hotel. McCook officers found the car with the suspect, identified as Cornelius Dupree Perry, 32 years old, of Des Moines, inside. A struggle ensued when the officers tried to arrest Perry. Perry then jumped into a police cruiser where a fight with a second officer took place before Perry gained control of the cruiser and fled. Perry was later stopped and arrested about 40 miles away in Max, Nebraska, near the Colorado border. Nebraska authorities said Perry faces charges of theft, resisting arrest, assaulting officers, and operating a vehicle to avoid arrest. It was not clear what charges he faces in Iowa. The 2 McCook police officers injured during the encounter were treated at a local hospital and are recovering at home.
From the Fox Sports Studios in Los Angeles, here's Eddie Garcia.
In the NCAA men's basketball tournament, the Sweet 16 is now set. 7th-seeded Oregon moving on after beating the 2nd-seed Iowa 95-80 despite a great game from Hawkeyes All-American Luka Garza, who had 36 points. 6th-seeded USC beat the 3-seed Kansas 85-51, and 11th-seeded UCLA beat the 14th-seed Abilene Christian 67-47. There are 4 Pac-12 teams into the Sweet 16, most of any conference. Top overall seed Gonzaga beat the 8th-seed Oklahoma 87-71. Bulldogs are still undefeated, now 28-0. Top seed Michigan beat the 8th-seed LSU 86-78. The Wolverines are the only Big Ten team still alive. They started the tournament with 9 teams in, most of any conference. 4th-seeded Florida State beat the 5th-seed Colorado 71-53. The Buffaloes are the only Pac-12 team to be eliminated so far. 2nd-seeded Alabama beat the 10th-seed Maryland 68-77. And the 5th-seed Creighton beat the 13th-seed Ohio 72-58.
Here's your weatherology forecast. Cloudy skies with rainy and breezy conditions for today. High temperatures working up into the lower 40s. Then for tonight, rain could even change over to some light snow, dropping back to a low of 32. North winds at 20 to 30. Still on the breezy side, but drying out on Wednesday, highs approaching 50 degrees. And for your Thursday, abundant sunshine, less breezy, mid-50s. For the Weatherology Weather Center, I'm staff meteorologist Michael Carroll.
I'm Joel Clark, a Select Quote agent, with a true story that could save you hundreds of dollars a year. A woman named Linda just called. Her husband, Ray, has a group life insurance policy, but is changing jobs and he can't take it with him. Well, I went to work and found Ray, who's 40 and takes medication to control his high blood pressure, a 10-year, $500,000 policy for only $19 a month. That's way more coverage for a lot less than what he was paying. If Select Quote didn't shop for your life insurance, you're probably paying too much.
For your free quote and to find out how much you can save, call 1-800-206-9977. That's 1-800-206-9977. 1-800-206-9977. Or go to SelectQuote.com. Since 1985, we shop, you save.
Get full details on the example policies at SelectQuote.com/commercials. Your premium could vary depending on your health, issuing company, and other factors. Not available in all states.
Currently 38 degrees here at Broken Bow under a cloudy sky, and winds are a factor today, no doubt about that. 15 to 25 plus miles per hour out of the north. Barometric pressure was falling early this morning, leveling off at 29.69, humidity at 94%. High yesterday was 47 with an overnight low of 34. Sunset today at 7:53. Sunrise tomorrow morning at 7:35. And we did measure a half-inch precipitation at 7 o'clock this morning from 7 o'clock yesterday. So we're now at 4 inches and 43 hundredths. for the month. And that's a look at weather and news. Want to remind you, we'll be giving you a chance later on in the show today to call in and get registered for a chance to win $250 in gift cards, brought to you today by Ollie's Coffee Shop and Boutique over in Sargent. Also later on today, we're going to be thanking our National Ag Week sponsors that you're hearing on the radio. But right now, I'm going to turn it over to Brent Apperson, because I got two sports guys here in the studio.
Are you sure you want to turn this interview over to me? Because Nathan Scott is here from Team Physical Therapy, and we may just talk about March Madness.
I thought you got that out of the way a few moments ago.
You kidding? We just started talking about it.
That's right.
This guy's amazing. He had Oral Roberts. You picked Oral Roberts in the Sweet 16,
Absolutely.
right, in your bracket?
Yes, absolutely.
What an amazing guy. Wow, you're just amazing.
Yep.
How is your bracket looking?
I think we had talked earlier. You and I had both picked Illinois to win, so if that tells you anything, not looking good.
Well, here we are. We're transitioning. We come out of the winter sports season. We move into the spring sports season, which we didn't get to enjoy a year ago because of the COVID-19 pandemic and everything. But the kids, I think, can be confident they're going to have a season this year. And I know we've already had a couple of meets in the area. Have you been seeing some kids, working with some kids as they make that transition now to track and field and even golf?
Yeah, believe it or not, a lot of people think that kind of the most common injuries or common sports injuries occur during football and wrestling and those more contact injuries or contact sports. But I would say from my experience that track we see the most athletes from track. It's just athletes aren't quite as used to the full running for long distances. It's a lot more stop and go with all the other sports. The changes in surface, the change in footwear. We see a lot of shin splints, your patellar tendonitis, hamstring strains, quad strains. And so I would definitely say that out of all the sports, we probably track is the one that we're most busy during with high school athletes anyway.
Those things that you just mentioned, have you seen more of those without having a season a year ago? or has that really played much of a factor?
It's kind of hard to say right now, just because we are early in the season.
Yeah.
And I would say that most of the kids they've done cross country since then, or they've done basketball, they've done football, they've done volleyball, and so they're in better shape. It's not like they just went a full year without doing anything to this point, for most athletes anyway. But we are starting to see some track athletes kind of trickle in through the doors. So that always comes with the warmer weather, I suppose.
Yeah. I don't know if you know this or not, but I'm getting older. And I'm going to ask a weird question, if you don't mind.
Absolutely.
Okay. It seems like, and maybe Dave can chime in here too, but it seems like the weather conditions are affecting my muscles and my body more so now that I'm getting older. Do you deal with, I mean, is that, am I just feeling weird or is that true stuff?
No, I think it's absolutely true stuff. The older we get, the more arthritic we get. Our muscles aren't quite as used to exercise and moving as they used to be. And anytime you get this colder weather, this cold, wet weather, where the barometric pressure is changing, it affects your joints, believe it or not. I have many people say they're feeling great until we get a kind of a cold spell or a rainy spell, and they're not feeling so good during that time. And it's not that they changed doing anything; they didn't do anything more than they were. It seems like there's a big correlation with weather and kind of the pain they're feeling, and their overall sensation of well-being is absolutely affected by the weather. So, also, I mean, your subconscious controls pain just as much as kind of your physical nature. So if it's wet and rainy and cold and snowy outside, your mood is not quite as good, which also affects your physical health as well.
I'm glad you brought that up because it now presents another question in my mind. Do you guys have to work at is it kind of hard to determine, okay, is this an actual physical thing, or is it maybe just, someone's mind is telling them, oh man, I'm in bad shape, but then you're like, well, maybe you're not in as bad a shape as you think you are. Is that a challenge for you guys?
Yeah.
Sometimes I would think it would be.
Absolutely. Kind of going through your course of education for physical therapy, you take psychology classes, you learn how to communicate with patients. So a big part of physical therapy treatment session is education on what you're feeling, why you're feeling it, what we can do to improve that and kind of change your mental outlook on things. Sometimes people come in and they're down and out and they think the world's ending and they're going to feel this way forever. And if you stay in that mental pattern, it's more likely that you will stay kind of in that pain pattern. So we do a lot of education. We do a lot of, there's a lot of communication that we try to kind of build people up and kind of getting them to see the bright future ahead and kind of get them out of those negative thoughts. And that's definitely an aspect of physical therapy. And one thing I've noticed with some of the really good physical therapists I've worked with, they're always good at communicating and educating patients on kind of their condition and what to expect and how to improve and things like that. So,
so sometimes we have to move equipment around here, haul out speakers and things like that. If the guys ask me to help and my response is, I don't know why, but my back's just kind of bothering me today. Do you think that's in my mind, or do you think that's actually the fact that my back is not in good shape?
It very well could be a combination of both. We actually...
Dave just wrote on a piece of paper and showed it to us. The word he wrote down was wuss. That's what that means.
His words, not mine.
Yeah, Brent's just trying to get out of work.
We actually, a lot of our therapists at our clinic took a continuing education class this last week, and in our presenters, one of the points that he had talked about was people's perception of pain in association with kind of the task that they're doing. You know, if you go to the gym and you work out really hard and your back is sore and tired afterwards, we usually associate that as a good thing, as when we were working it out really, really hard and got a good workout in. Well, if you do basically the same movements, if you're squatting weights in the weight room, it's no different than squatting speakers, lifting speakers and carrying speakers. And then if we have a little bit of back tightness and pain after that, we associate it as a bad thing. Even though we're doing the same motions, same movements, lifting probably the same amount of weights, our mind is able to kind of associate whether it's more of a pleasure thing or not quite as fun thing to do. It kind of changes our perception on how we associate that pain as being something that we kind of like or something that, oh man, this is a bad thing. So that might be something you have going on in your mind. Someone mentions the word speakers have to be moved, and
or work in general.
Yeah. So,
or if he's home and he decides maybe he's going to pump a little iron, then that makes him feel good, and the pain is, well, that's because I worked out.
Yes,
that's what you're.
Yep.
Also, just jump in for a quick one here. Being the older one in this room, I think as you get older, it's real easy to say, I'm not going to do that because it's going to make me stiff and sore, and it just compounds itself. And really the best thing you can do is be active, and sometimes we deactivate to avoid that uncomfortable, that bit of little pain that we're going to maybe have for a day or two, and it seems like it just kind of builds upon itself.
Yes, absolutely. Especially as we get older, we get a fear of doing things that might potentially cause harm. And like you said, that builds with time. The longer we go without doing things, the more likely it is, if you are to do that thing, it will kind of cause you some pain. So a lot of research suggests that kind of activity is the best treatment for any body pain. Headaches, back pain, knee pain, hip pain. Even though you say, well, if I go for a walk, my knee's going to hurt. Well, if you sit in a chair and then one day you have to go for a walk, it's really, really going to hurt. So the more that you can be active in your life, the stronger you're going to be, the more use you're going to be to actual functional movements. If you got to pick up the laundry basket off the floor, it's going to be easier. You're going to be able to do it with less effort and with less fear. So movement truly is the key to life. I've seen a lot of elderly people that they get scared to move, and that kind of just sets them on a downhill path later in life. So the more you can move, the better off you're going to be in the long run. I truly believe that.
And I would assume, too, there is the flip side of this, too, and that is, sometimes your body does have a way of telling you when something's wrong, and you don't want to ignore pain either. And so I would assume that's where you guys really come in handy to help people just kind of figure out, where they're at.
Yes, absolutely. Especially with kind of the season we're coming into. There's going to be a lot of people getting active in their gardens, working in their yards. So a lot of times we see that sunny and 80-degree day, and we just go gung-ho and do probably a little bit more than we should. And there's a lot of times that your body will talk to you and tell you when it's time to take a rest break, or tells you when there is something wrong. And that is where we step in. We can kind of do an assessment, see if there's something that we need to work on strengthening, and things we can send you home with, adjustments we can make with your form, whether when you're instead of bending over and pulling weeds, get a knee stool or something to sit on or kneel on while you're pulling weeds to improve your body mechanics. That way you can stay active, but not be down and out for several days afterwards. So,
anything you wanted to touch on specifically here this morning that maybe we haven't visited about yet?
Not that I know of. The track athletes was definitely one thing that I wanted to point out. With it being early in the season and cold and not the most ideal conditions, it's a really good time if you are starting to have that pain to get it taken care of. That way you're primed and ready to go for those warmer days and better conditions. So I would always suggest get it taken care of early, because the longer you let something go on, the longer it usually takes to kind of recover from. So,
yeah.
Okay. Nathan, I was thinking about a scenario, what you were mentioning. You have members in your family that like to fish.
Absolutely,
right?
yeah.
And so they go out and they hold a pole all day and they troll, or they cast and they hold that pole all day. And when they get home, their entire wrist and hand is sore and aching. And the next day it's stiff and sore. Now, that's a good feeling, because you had a hold of a fishing pole for a whole day, right?
Yes, absolutely. Like I said earlier, that might be one of those pains that you associate as a pleasure, so you're not quite as worried about it. Yeah.
There you go. Well, we will get out and do some things recreation-wise, and we can hurt ourselves, pushing a boat around or doing some things that we haven't done all season. So, and if we do tweak something, we need to come and see you guys. And you have lots of different places we can stop in, right?
Yep. We have locations here in Broken Bow, Callaway, Kearney, Gothenburg, and Burwell. So if you're in any one of those areas, stop by. A lot of times we're staffed well enough to do immediate visits. So if you walk in, need an appointment, we're usually able to accommodate you with those.
All right. We didn't even talk about recovery from strokes and heart surgery and knee operations and hip replacements and all those things that you guys take care of all the time. So you guys are ready to go at all those locations, I assume?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
Yes.
Thanks, Nathan.
Yeah.
Appreciate it. Good interview, Brent.
Thanks, Dave.
Just might be Mark Stock. If it is, we'll get him on the line right after these words.
Whether you visit them for lunch or dinner, Legends Neighborhood Grill has delicious specials they'd love to serve you. Plus, breakfast is served until 2 p.m. on Saturday and Sunday. Mondays, $1 tacos and $2 margaritas from 5 until 7. A great way to start your week. And back by popular demand, $3 burgers on Thursdays from 5 until 7. Open 6 days a week, just closed Tuesdays. Legends Neighborhood Grill on the Square in Broken Bow.
Need gear for the softball and baseball diamond? Geared for Sports in Broken Bow has all kinds of equipment and shoes for the season. What Scott doesn't have in store, he can try to find for you. Geared for Sports has competitive pricing, so there's no need to go out of town or search the web. Find it right on the Square in Broken Bow. There's a reason it's called Geared for Sports. They're prepared to gear you up for whatever sport you play. Visit them soon in Broken Bow. Geared for Sports.
It is 8:25, and Mark Stock is on the line. We're just talking about boats and recreation and all the things that we're looking forward to this spring and summer. I'm just guessing. I don't want to take Mark off his target subject today, but I'm just guessing. If you check out Big Iron Auction, you'll find some of those very things, such as four-wheelers and boats and cars and all those sorts of things. The list is unlimited. Good morning, Mark.
Hey, good morning. You are absolutely correct. There are always, in addition to the ag and transportation and construction, there's always other things on there. We got a lot of lawnmowers, and after all this rain, I tell you what, there's one thing that's going to need attention is your lawn and getting everything mowed up nice and pretty. So check out the lawnmower selling on Big Iron, and we have some boats, and they'll definitely be some full dams and some full ponds, and I know the fishing will probably be pretty good here with all this fresh water that's filling and running into them right now, too. So check all that good information out. We've even got an airplane that's selling. It's I believe it's a 1996 Maul. It's a high-performance aircraft that's going to sell here next week on the Big Iron website. So all you pilots out there, check out the Maul. It's located, I believe, in Montana. A big sale that we're having for family in Montana that they got some late model John Deere equipment and this fancy airplane. But folks, we've got some land selling today. We want to talk about first, guys. In Lancaster County, Nebraska, south of Lincoln, there are 2 tracts of real estate that will sell. There's 54 acres selling and 93 acres selling. The land is located south of Panama or a little bit west of Hickman, Nebraska. And it's right in the line where everything's kind of growing and developing in Lincoln. So the value will probably be maintained well if you're looking for a great investment opportunity. John Buell and Ann Gray are the 2 Big Iron Realty agents that are in Hickman at the community center today, as this online land auction will start to conclude in just an hour and a half or so. Just a great opportunity, folks, to add some real estate. You got, excuse me, 1031 some money into some property. We encourage you to go to the Big Iron site and check out today's auction day. Now, tomorrow, folks, 1,180 plus items will sell to the highest bidder. Lauren and Maureen McGill are retiring. They're from by Newman Grove, Nebraska. They've got a John Deere 4450 mechanical front tractor, folks. These tractors are the indestructible kind, so check out that tractor. They got a fast 9613N pull-type sprayer. They got a Gale MX100 grinder mixer, plus a whole bunch of other equipment. 94 items are selling on their retirement sale. We've also got Huruska Feedlot. Their retirement sale in Sidney, Nebraska, features 81 items, and Arden Anderson, the Big Iron rep, has been with the family for several weeks now, but they got a John Deere 5830 forage harvester. They have got a Wilson Silver Star cattle pot, a 95 Kenworth T800 semi. They got an 07 Sterling L8500 feed truck with a harsh mixer box that's in outstanding condition. They got one of these big Haybuster H1100 big bite hay grinders. They've also got a John Deere 544J wheel loader. Check out all their combines and their farm equipment as well. A lot of John Deere equipment selling on that sale. The Danny C. Domeyer Living Trust Estate. Danny passed away. And then Kathleen L. Domeyer Living Trust. Their sale is tomorrow as well. They're by Geneva, Nebraska. They've got 87 items on their online-only retirement sale. And check out their Case Magnum 380 road track mechanical front tractor. Yes, this has got the tracks on their back axle, and it's a mechanical front. They got a Case IH 305 Magnum. They got a Maxim 125 tractor with a loader. All of this equipment, folks, is outstanding on the Domeyer sale. They've got a one-owner Case IH 7230 combine. They've also got a 3412 12-row corn head. They got a Kinsey 1050 Harvest Command grain cart selling on their sale. Once again, that's a big sale, late model equipment. Support Kathleen Domeyer on their sale. She lost her husband, and just an unbelievable lineup of equipment that you folks get to buy at your price on our No Reserve online auction platform. Now, Custer Public Power District right here in Broken Bow. Henry Nuxel's been out there taking pictures of a couple of their vehicles. They got a 2014 Ram 3500 Super Duty 4x4 cab and chassis. They got a 2014 Chevy K3500 regular cab utility truck. It's got the Duramax under the hood, folks, and it's been deleted. So check out that four-wheel drive pickup. We also got Brad Eppenbach. He's over by Ord, Nebraska, selling a couple vehicles. They've got a 2013 Chevy Silverado K1500. That's a Z71 4x4 crew cab pickup. They also got a 2007 Chevrolet Avalanche. That's a four-wheel drive crew cab pickup as well. months ago. Then those are Brad Eppenbach's vehicles over by Ord, Nebraska. And there's a lot more equipment selling, a lot more items selling on tomorrow's online machinery auction. I know we got a lot of rain in the area, so if you want to dry out today, get inside and check out your desktop computer, your iPad, your smartphones, your mobile devices, and scroll through all of the equipment. Check out all the tillage tools, all the planters, all the sprayers, all the fertilizing application equipment, all the livestock working equipment as well. It's all going to sell tomorrow online with no reserves and no buyer's fees. Go to bigiron.com, guys, for more information.
All right, Mark, thanks so much. I know you're busy. I did want to ask you one question. Now, you've got this auction coming up that you've just highlighted, and I know there's hundreds of items more than what you're able to describe here today. How far ahead, I know we talk about this once in a while, but how far ahead does people need to, get in contact with you folks about getting on an auction?
We are filling the last sale in April right now, and we're filling into May. And remember that big classic collector car auction that features all of those collector vehicles that were in Chevy Land USA's museum. That sale is a special Thursday, May the 6th, and I believe that deadline is like in 5 or 6 days. So if you've got collector classic cars, you need to get a hold of Henry or your Big Iron rep or Ryan Harbor or Ryan Harder in Grand Island, any one of the reps that work the area, Matt Cope. All these guys, they are ready to come out to your place to help you list your equipment and your classic and collector cars and trucks. But we are usually about 6 weeks out from today's date, from what the week that we're filling, and that's all because a good sale starts with proper marketing and advertising, and you can't just throw something on a sale and sell it in 10 days and think you're going to hit the market high. You're just hoping somebody's looking for what you got during that time period. We want valued bidders, people that are actively looking for what you want to sell, and then when you have a handful of those people, because right now we're averaging 9 bidders per item on our website. That's 9 bidders per item, folks. Go to bigiron.com and we'll get you top dollar.
All right, Mark. Thanks so much. Always enjoy your reports. It's fascinating to see and hear what's going on with Big Iron Auction Company. Appreciate it.
Hey, thank you, guys.
Yep, take care.
Out there.
All right. It's 8:32, working on 8:33. Brent and Dave with you here on The Breakfast Show. Yet to come, we'll be visiting with Nebraska Owners Insurance Agency. And, of course, that would be Chip and Liana. And we expect them into the studio probably in the early part of the 9 o'clock hour, maybe later this hour. So that gives us time to talk about a few things. Brent, I wanted to, before I didn't get to it, thank all of our National Ag Week sponsors. And I noticed on the sheet here, they continue to add to this because the businesses want you to know more about agriculture, and even you folks involved in it, we need to thank you for being involved in it in this part of the country. So these businesses are bringing you National Ag Week messages on KCNI KVBN, and they include Sargent Irrigation, Trotter Service in Broken Bow, Trotter Fertilizer in Broken Bow, Nebraska State Bank here in Broken Bow, Callaway, and Myrna, the Baco Brothers Howard Hay Company down Litchfield Way, Shotgun Annie's in Callaway, Adams Land and Cattle, Power Solutions just out east on Highway 2, Grazer's Barbecue and Grill, and that, of course, is in Arnold. Sandhills Motors, we just visited with the guys yesterday at their new location here in Broken Bow. Sun Valley Landscaping, appreciate it. State Farm Insurance, Donna Cahill, and Donna works here in Broken Bow, and I believe also she has an office in Gothenburg. Grocery Cart, Agland ATV, Arrow Seed of Broken Bow. Mount Custer Truck Sales, they work with the farmers and ranchers all the time, providing truck parts and services and trucks that have been built from scratch, and they're out on East Highway 2, not far from Power Solutions. Custer Public Power and Downey Drilling, all making the National Ag Week salutes available here on KCNI KBBN for you folks out there to listen to. Let's see here. Oh. A to Z Lawn Pro. Now, I know that they are looking for help, as a lot of companies are right now. But the thing about A to Z right now is they want you to know that they'll still add you onto their service list. I just got a letter from them the other day about the fertilizer program that they offer. They also, of course, do landscaping. They plant seeds for you, new lawns, and they mow them, just to name a few of the things that they do. But they are looking for some good help.
Yeah, they're certainly moving into their busy time of the season, and they're looking for help. Full-time help is needed at A to Z Lawn Pro and Landscaping. Duties would include mowing, landscaping, etc. No weekends, good pay, and if you happen to be EPA certified, that is certainly a bonus. So give them a call. Russ is the guy to talk to. The number 308-870-5182. Or you can just go by the office at 201 South C Street in Broken Bow for an application. And you can also go to their Facebook page, A to Z Lawn Pro and Landscaping, and apply there as well.
And a thank you goes out to Viera Wireless this morning for being a part of the breakfast show. You'll see their logo on our Facebook live feed. And they, of course, would like you to stop by and see them in downtown Broken Bow at 841 South D Street. Or you can call them at 872-1535 to find out how Viera Wireless can provide you quality services with a plan to fit your needs and budget. Their store is open Monday through Friday here in Broken Bow from 10 a.m. until 5 p.m. There's also stores located in Ord, Lexington, North Platte, Kearney, Valentine. They serve a 5 or 6 state area here in the Midwest, and they'd love to talk to you about how they can save you some money and get you set up with something that fits your budget and your needs. Viera Wireless. Also, a quick reminder, don't forget about the drive-through fish fry. A little different this year for the Knights of Columbus. In years past, they would be all over our listening area at different communities. But because of the COVID situation, they condensed things down a little bit. I think their last one was a huge success, where you just drive through at Broken Bow Parish Center, St. Joseph's Parish Center. They've got it all set up, or they will have on Friday, and they'll serve fish and shrimp and 2 sides from 5:30 until 7 p.m. or until the fish runs out. That could be before 7 o'clock, honestly. But it is a free will donation this year, which is different, and it will be this Friday. And if you'd like to call ahead to get your meal ordered ahead of time, you can do that. It's not necessary, but if you would like to do that, you can call them at 870-1360 to order or to get more information. Again, on Friday the 26th, the Knights of Columbus drive-through fish fry.
All right. Hey, if you're looking for a great way to start the day, how about Prairie Grounds Cafe here in Broken Bow? Here's a rundown of their March drink specials for this month, kind of coming toward the end of March. So if you want to enjoy some of these, here's what they're featuring during the month of March. And you'll notice as we go through these, with St. Patrick's Day being in March, kind of an Irish flavor to the drink specials at Prairie Grounds Cafe and Gifts in Broken Bow this month. They'll be featuring the Irish Jig Latte, a mixture of Irish cream and amaretto. Luck of the Irish Mocha, a mix of Irish cream and mocha sauce. The Frozen Irish Mudslide, Irish cream and mocha sauce, and the Irish Steamer, no coffee, and also the Cookies and Cream Frappe, the featured drinks at Prairie Grounds Cafe for the month of March. Don't forget to swing in and take a look at their gift selection, too. A lot of great gift ideas for you at Prairie Grounds Cafe and Gifts in Broken Bow, which is open Tuesday through Friday, 7:30 a.m. until 1 in the afternoon. Open Saturday from 8 to 1. They offer gourmet coffee with breakfast and daily lunch specials available as well at Prairie Grounds Cafe and Gifts in Broken Bow.
We'll continue with these words on The Breakfast Show.
It's time for excitement at Bo Bootery. Time for trade-in days through this Saturday. Bring in those old shoes, purses, hats, or boots to trade in towards something new. What could be better? Walk in with something worn out and done, and walk out with something new and ready to go. Through this Saturday only at Bo Bootery. Trade-in days. Come see us at your home-owned shoe store on the square in Broken Bow.
When you choose ACE as your natural gas supplier, you receive more than a competitive natural gas rate. Community-owned ACE returns revenue to communities for projects such as a recreational trail in Albion and park improvements in St. Paul, Ravenna, Ord, and Broken Bow. Get a competitive rate and support local communities. Choose ACE during this year's Extended Choice Gas Selection Period, March 18th through April 22nd at aceenergy.org ACE, heating homes, powering communities.
Hi, this is Laura. I am the dietary manager from Off-Broadway Assisted and Independent Living in Broken Bow. Here are a few more reasons that we are Central Nebraska's premier retirement living. All of our meals are home cooked. Boxed meals are never served. Every Sunday for dinner, our residents get homemade pies and rolls. And on their birthday, they choose their meal they want. We also offer food alternatives different than our main meals. We always listen to what our residents want. Our dietary team loves to serve our residents at Off-Broadway in Broken Bow.
It's National Ag Month, and Bruning Bank is proud to support the hard-working ranchers and farmers in growing and improving their operations. We want to say thank you for your resilience and dedication to your land, crops, and livestock production. Whatever your needs may be, Bruning Bank is here to lend a helping hand through our many financial services. Whether it be a personal or business checking account, online banking, or a loan, our staff is experienced and ready to help. Give us a call or visit us at bruningbank.com. Bruning Bank. Build, grow, thrive. Member FDIC.
8:41 is your time. You know, I stopped in yesterday to Nebraska Land Hearing Center and talked to Roxanne. And I was really, I knew that Roxanne knew her stuff. I mean, she's been in the business of helping people hear better for over 30 years. And she had a very large operation in Grand Island and decided to come home to Custer County. She's originally from the Comstock area, and set up shop here on the east side of the square in Broken Bow. And I was talking to her about the process of what you need to do to get the proper hearing aid. You know, how do you get started? And there's so much more to it than you might think. There's some recommendations that she makes where you need to go see maybe a doctor to make sure your ears are clear. And not compacted before you make an investment in hearing aids. And that's just one step. And then to make sure, you know, that the test is accurate. And one of the things I think that she does is, I guess you would call it lump sum or package pricing. If you buy hearing aids, it's the cost is inclusive for all the things that you might need before, during, and after. That you won't be charged additionally for. So the quote that you get will cover 99% of what your needs would be during that process. So she is, how do I want to put it, a very particular lady when it comes to making sure you get the best that you can for the money spent to improve your hearing.
Yeah, and she's also offering some specials right now. Receive a $500 discount for buying local, generous trade-in values on old hearing aids, and also a $1,500 stimulus special. So to find out how all of that works, you need to call Roxanne. And here's the number, 308-384-3852. Again, that's 308-384-3852 for the Nebraska Land Hearing Center in Broken Bow.
Yesterday, Joyce Richardson was in the studio to talk about Runza and all the things that are going on out there, and we always enjoy her visit. But she did mention to yours truly that she drove by the Bernie home one evening. It must have been about dusk, I'm not sure. But there was a possum on the porch of our house. And she also mentioned that they see possums every once in a while around their place. And unfortunately, if you have streets and sewer systems, you may have a possum that lives near you.
They kind of like to hang out in those areas.
Yes.
Yeah, the sewer and stuff.
And if you feed cats or dogs, they like those feedings just as well as dogs and cats do.
Oh, yeah, they like to go up to the cat dish or the dog dish and partake.
Yes. And you may remember this story years ago. We live out in the country here. We work out in the country here. And we had a trailer house that was hooked to the original structure here as an office. Getting quite dilapidated. It was the windows flop when the wind blew, a few things like that.
Yeah, there were little bows in the floor that you had to kind of be careful of, otherwise you'd step right through.
Stains on the ceiling where the water came through. Water would run down the air conditioning vents in the summer because of condensation. It would get kind of smelly. So we don't miss the trailer house. But I guess we don't miss having possums under it either, because we had a family of possums under there.
Yeah.
And that's a whole nother story. But the thing, at this time of year, you start smelling skunks. They'll come around during the night. They may be looking for some cat food as well. And then you have varmints such as possums. Now, over the years, I've gotten more and more in love with animals. I've always loved animals, but as you get older, I think you love me even more. It's just great to have birds and dogs and cats and cattle and coyotes and eagles and hawks and Mother Nature around you. But I just can't stand a possum. A possum gives me the creeps.
Well, they're not the most beautiful looking animal, really. Right?
And they hiss at you.
Yeah.
And they got these teeth, this long alligator beak with teeth in it. They got the beady little eyes, and the babies are really pink and ugly. I don't like them.
And they're just, they just seem to me like they're like a freeloader.
Well, they'll eat
animal.
anything.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're always looking for something free, and they don't want to give anything back to you. You know what I mean?
I'm with you. And I'll tell you, from our experience underneath the trailer, they'll even eat themselves.
I got to say, though, you talk about the old trailer house. I remember one time, there was a stench coming from underneath.
Yes.
And I think that we all kind of knew that maybe it was a possum that had met its maker underneath the trailer house. And I think it was you and Bob decided you were going to crawl underneath.
Yes.
And survey the situation and dig out the dead possum. And when you got under, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think when you got underneath, was it you or Bob? You were underneath, and all of a sudden, a couple of beady eyes looked you in the face.
Both of us.
And you guys came scrambling out from underneath that trailer house quicker than anything I've ever seen in my life.
Well, Bob beat me out. he could belly crawl faster than I could.
I still have that picture in my mind. That was great.
And then we went back in there with a piece of cardboard and drug this dead possum up from underneath there. But first we had the game warden come and shoot the possum. The one that was alive.
Right. Yeah, I forgot about that.
So that's all bad.
That is.
That's all bad. But think about this, folks. It's springtime, and the Kentucky Rye Bluegrass Band is singing about the worst.
Oh, wow.
When you get a possum or opossum, as most folks say, in the well.
Oh, no.
Yeah, here's the story.
Granny hit the moonshine when the sheriff found her still. Now Granddad's in Harlan, locked up in jail. Granny gave up water, it had an evil smell. That's when old Granny found the possum in the well. There's a jailbreak in Harlan and a possum in the well. Granny's on the moonshine with a pocket full of shells. She staggered down to Harlan, broke Granddad from jail. Now Granddaddy's on the run, riding on the rail. Springs have all dried up, ain't got no crop to sell. She's running out of dough, no word in the mail. He's riding in a boxcar with a new copper still. Back to that woman that shot up the jail. There's a jailbreak in Harlan and a possum in the well. Granny's on the moonshine with a pocket full of shells. She staggered down to Harlan, broke Granddad from jail. Now Granddaddy's on the run, riding on the rail. I'm going down to the courthouse, gonna make out my will, gonna make sure my kin get my old rocking chair. How will I die? Reckon no one can tell. But better it from the whiskey than from the water in the well. There's a jailbreak in Harlan and a possum in the well. Granny's on the moonshine with a pocket full of shells. She staggered down to Harlan, broke Granddad from jail. Now Granddaddy's on the run, riding on the rail. Possum in the well. Granny's on the moonshine with a pocket full of shells. She staggered down to Harlan, broke Granddad from jail. Now Granddaddy's on the run, riding on the rail. Granddaddy's on the run, riding on the rail.
Possums in the well. Opossums in the well. Of course, that's the sounds of the Kentucky Rye Bluegrass Band down Cumro Way. Former Mayor Bob Bowles was in the office at the time this song was created. Liana is here from Nebraska Owners Insurance Agency. Good morning, young lady.
Good morning.
It's good to see you.
Just what you wanted to follow, right?
Right.
Conversation
Yes.
and a song about possums.
I remember the trailer house.
You should.
Little, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you endured it
I
along
did.
with everybody else. Yeah. So how's things going? I mean, you've got a name change. You've exploded. You're in different communities. I know you well enough to know that you have 25 other things going on with your family and
Right.
everything. But on the business side, where are you at right now? Are we over the hump on some government plans, or just jump right in?
Actually, no, which is mostly why I'm here.
Okay.
Yes, we have been growing a lot. We have an agency that we opened in Albion. And we have that staffed with a great agent, and she does, property casualty, life health, all the things. So she's been great, and that is keeping us busy. Chip goes back and forth pretty much each week and is meeting with her and with some of the shareholders and other clients that are interested in quotes and stuff. So that's been good. We have our agency in Lincoln. That operates mostly from the shareholder perspective, but we do have a new agent in there as well. So we've had some business that's starting to come out of there. We have Karen Baumberger that joined us as our CSR, customer service representative in Callaway, and she's doing a phenomenal job. So we are really, really growing. So that's been good. There's growing pains like anything.
Sure. Yeah. But all of this allows you to, as we understood it when you came in and told us about this change, so that you can offer more options to your customers,
right,
to fit their needs a little bit more.
Yep. So that's kind of a necessary evil of the insurance world, is in order to keep growing, you have to keep growing. So there are some carriers out there, which would be the companies we would write your insurance with, that would like to see a larger book of business or more commercial policies and those kind of things. So as we continue to grow, we have the opportunity to bring some of those carriers in and provide just better and more options to our clients. So, yeah, every day is something new. We've got a lot of commercial business, which has kind of surprised both Chip and I, especially with the walk-in commercial stuff, because there's just kind of a need. I don't know if people, more of them are branching out maybe into some smaller home-based businesses, or like anyone, they're looking to keep their costs down. Mm-hmm. So it certainly doesn't hurt to get a quote. Doesn't cost you anything, know. So that's, and it could save you in the long run. So
yeah, and we talk about it every day, and maybe people are tired of talking about it, but I like to talk about the situation we're in, to where we can see the light at the end of the tunnel, and maybe even more so in the Midwest for the COVID-19 situation. Right. Which is, I'm sure, going to rev things up when people all over the state get, back up to speed 100%.
Yeah, and that's one of the changes that I kind of wanted to talk about today. So they have the President Biden, and politics aside, has offered what he calls the American Rescue Plan. So that he signed into law on March 11th. The main part of that plan that affects what we do is the health insurance side. So I have a huge client base that has marketplace policies, meaning most of them get tax credits to make their premiums more affordable. And in some cases, their deductibles are lower, their copays are lower. So this has changed all of that, of course. So basically what it means is that if you don't have a policy, if you did not sign up during the open enrollment period I'm usually talking about, they opened a new one that runs from February 15th to May 15th, which means you could still potentially get insurance starting June 1 if you wait until the very end of May. The other thing that it affects is that if you already have a policy, after April 1st, if you have it on your own, if you have it with an agent, if you go in or will go in and essentially update your application, it's quite possible you could get higher tax credits, again, lower premiums, and potentially the lower deductibles and copays. I know, it's kind of a nightmare. It's going to be great for the clients, and for people out there that maybe thought that they didn't qualify. Before, the cap was at 400% of poverty level. So that's based on the size of your family or the number of taxpayers. So for example, if you're a single guy or woman and you only claim yourself, no one else on your tax return, you could make between about $17,000 and we'll call it about $50,000 and still qualify for tax credits. Now, if it's dependent on income and you're over that $50,000, if a silver, the benchmark plan, you can't be charged more than 8.5% of your income in premiums. So people who thought they had a cutoff point and wouldn't qualify now may qualify. So
you're talking about two different animals there, right?
Yeah.
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 and which animal fits the situation.
Right. So it has just been, it's quite a change. And I really want people to know that, some of them still choose to pay a premium for a silver plan, and it might still be $400 or $500 a month. And for some families, that is still a struggle. It sure beats $1,500 a month. But we can go in, we can adjust that, check your income levels again. You can change policies during this time. So maybe you have a bronze plan with a really high deductible. You could potentially qualify for a silver now that you can afford, and you can change those. The catch is, to be sure, if you've already met a significant part of your deductible, unfortunately, with medical care in the last 3 months, that may start over. So I want people to know that, that's great. Now my deductible is only going to be $3,000. Well, if you've already paid $3,000 toward your $6,000, it's a toss-up. So I just encourage people to ask questions, do research.
What can they do if they give you guys a call? What do they need to bring with them? I mean, it's obvious the amount of money they make in a year's time is important. How can they help you, help them sort through all of this?
Right. So if you've already gotten your taxes done this year, potentially, that bottom line, it's the modified adjusted gross income. So there is a line on your tax return that tells you what 2020's was. So we start there. Or you bring me your W-2s because we can go off what you think you'll make for 2021. The other thing to remember is that that's very fluid throughout the year. So, you change jobs, you get a raise, you get laid off. All of those things can affect that. As long as you stay in touch with us, we can adjust that, which results in a lot less surprises at tax time, which is beneficial for you and your accountant.
Yes, yes. I was mentioning this the other day. I happened to talk to an accountant, a CPA, and especially on the ag side, it sounded like everything. Normally, you'd have a change in a rule for taxes, and it would apply to the next year. But they're going back to 2020, and so that probably even mixes in a little bit of what you're talking about as far as going back and changing that tax report.
Yeah. So for example, if you have a policy and you came in and you told me that your family of, we'll just use the one again, that you were going to make $30,000, and you actually ended up getting a raise. You didn't tell me about it. You sold a piece of land. You didn't think about that being income. So all of a sudden, it's put you over that $50,000 that you could make in a year. In a normal year, if that had happened in 2020, you would be paying that penalty back for tax credits you didn't deserve, essentially, this year. They have said no. For 2020, look at the draw. You don't have to pay that back.
Oh.
Which becomes a problem for the accountants because most of them are almost done or you've already filed. And so then the question becomes, what do you do?
Yeah.
So that is all still kind of up in the air with how you handle that. But yeah, that definitely affects it. The other question I get a lot is stimulus payments. Okay, so, if you've got a family of 4 and you had your first, second, third stimulus checks now, you could be looking at almost $10,000 in government money that you've received. That is non-taxable from the marketplace point of view, so it doesn't count towards your income. Ag is different. If you got an ag stimulus, ask your accountant.
Yeah, work it out.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So there's just a lot of things. The marketplace was originally meant to be easy to navigate. Dave could just hop on there and get insurance for you and Joan and go about your day.
Yeah.
There's a lot of details now, and I just, please ask. It doesn't cost any money to have an agent do that for you. It's what I focus on. I would really prefer that, and everyone would, rather than at tax time to get hit with a surprise that you don't understand because the verbiage is crazy.
Oh man, and then for you, I'm thinking of you here. If somebody maybe doesn't understand it and get it right, and then they come to see you to try to make it right, that's a lot harder than getting it right to start with.
It is. Yep. And we've had those situations for sure. And they are making these changes. So with this American Rescue Plan, actually retroactive to January 1. So if we go in April and it changes your tax credits or your deductibles, they're actually going to retro that back to January in most cases.
Okay. Going back to the stimulus, now it's not taxable income, but does that money, is it formulated into your gross revenue for the year? Okay.
Nope. For my purposes, it's left out.
Okay.
Yep.
So that doesn't figure.
So that $10,000 or whatever it ends up being at the end of this year is a wash. Yeah.
Okay. But they sold some property and
that kind of thing, yes.
Yeah.
And that gets people quite a bit, whether it's the marketplace side, and it also works for Medicare as well, because you assume that your Part B premiums are the lowest level, but they base it on your tax returns from 2 years ago. So I've had people come in and say, I paid $148 last year. Why is it $349 this year a month? There's not a lot of education on that. The Social Security Administration is not good about explaining that. So, Grandpa Joe sold this section of land, and now it's costing him 3 times what he had been used to. And it will eventually even out, but 2 years ago is where you go to look for those numbers.
I would just say that calling the Social Security people is a miracle if you actually get somebody to answer, let alone get anything done with them.
Yeah.
So, we have a little news break. Can you hang for a little bit, or do you have another?
Nope.
Okay, because I wanted to talk to you about sushi.
I knew that was going to come up.
And maybe about some discovery on possums we didn't know about that you knew about.
Okay, sounds good.
And any other thing you want to talk about Nebraska Owners Insurance Agency, because this is important information.
It is, yes.
Stay tuned. We'll have a quick news break, and we'll be right back.
You are listening to the Get Up and Go Breakfast Show. Go, go, go! On KCNI, KPBN, Broken Bow, Nebraska.
CBS News Special Report.
Hard to fathom that 10 people lost their lives yesterday at the grocery store.
Colorado Congressman Joe Neguse, a day after a shooter opened fire at a market in Boulder. Anna Hayes lives across the street.
He was on one of the handicap ramps going up to the entrance of the King Soopers, and he was shooting down at something, which I believe was another person. And after he was done shooting, he ran inside the building.
Police say a suspect is in custody. They haven't released the person's identity or a motive. Among the victims, a police officer, Eric Talley, first first on the scene, responding to calls of shots fired. Tally leaves behind 7 children. Congressman Neguse tells CBS This Morning enough is enough when it comes to blocking gun control.
It does not have to be this way. There are common sense gun reform legislation proposals that have been debated in the Congress for far too long, and enough is enough, and it's time for us to take action.
CBS News Special Report. I'm Deborah Rodriguez.
From the Fox Sports Studios in Los Angeles, here's Eddie Garcia.
In the NCAA men's basketball tournament, the Sweet 16 is now set. 7th-seeded Oregon moving on after beating the 2nd seed Iowa 95-80 despite a great game from Hawkeyes All-American Luka Garza, who had 36 points. 6th-seeded USC beat the 3-seed Kansas 85-51, and 11th-seeded UCLA beat the 14th seed Abilene Christian 67-47. There are 4 Pac-12 teams into the Sweet 16, most of any conference. Top overall seed Gonzaga beat the 8th seed Oklahoma 87-71. Bulldogs are still undefeated, now 28-0. Top seed Michigan beat the 8th seed LSU 86-78. The Wolverines are the only Big Ten team still alive. They started the tournament with 9 teams in, most of any conference. 4th-seeded Florida State beat the 5th seed Colorado 71-53. The Buffaloes are the only Pac-12 team to be eliminated so far. 2nd-seeded Alabama beat the 10th seed Maryland 68-77. And the 5th seed Creighton beat the 13th seed Ohio 72-58.
Here's your weatherology forecast. Cloudy skies with rainy and breezy conditions for today. High temperatures working up into the lower 40s. Then for tonight, rain could even change over to some light snow, dropping back to a low of 32. North winds at 20 to 30. Still on the breezy side, but drying out on Wednesday, highs approaching 50 degrees. And for your Thursday, abundant sunshine, less breezy, mid-50s. For the Weatherology Weather Center, I'm staff meteorologist Michael Carroll.
News and weather was brought to you today by Custer Electric and Irrigation in Broken Bow. Nothing beats a sale like an anniversary sale. Custer Electric and Irrigation's 4th anniversary sale, to be exact. March celebrates 4 years as your electrician, Zematic dealer, and pivot specialist, and Lance is ready to give back to you as thanks for 4 wonderful years. NF tracks are on sale at unheard of prices, and all irrigation and electrical parts are 10% off through the month of March. Call for the information on those sales or to get scheduled for pivot inspections. Spring weather is upon us, and Custer Electric's 47-point inspection process and guarantee will leave you peace of mind that your pivots will run well when needed. Now is also the time to demo NF tracks and FieldNet products, so call today as demos are limited. With the Zematic by Lindsay technologies, you can count on being ahead of the game with prices that are fair to you. Go celebrate the 4-year anniversary with whole house sales. Call Lance at 880-1507. Check them out on Facebook or at custerei.com. Custer Electric and Irrigation. Experience the difference.
38 degrees outside, kind of dark out there, still raining, but we'll take it. It's been a nice slow rain, and I know Liana is not only in the insurance business, she's in the ag business, so you got to be happy, other than we're having to wear the muck boots everywhere,
right?
To know that down the road we're gonna grow some things pretty quick.
Yeah, once that sun comes out and stays, I think we can listen to the grass grow.
Yeah,
so we have some soggy babies now, but we'll take the rain. So
diversion just a moment before we get to the possums and the sushi. I saw where you're raising. What are they, smaller cattle?
Scottish Highlanders is the breed. Yep. So that started because they're super cute on Facebook, and I kept threatening, and then I had the opportunity to get one reasonably priced, and then apparently it's like tattoos or anything else. You can't just have one. So now I'm hoarding fuzzy cows. So yeah, I have 6 bred cows. So we have 1 baby on the ground, and then I have some little yearling ones, heifers and a bull. So yeah, they're all going to be named after Outlander characters this year, I've decided. My family thinks I'm crazy, but we're going with the Scottish theme.
All right. Yeah.
So, yeah. No, that's been fun. And, you know, Jeff works off the farm, too, like I do. Mm-hmm. So with our commercial herd, we're going to downsize just a little bit, kind of over time. These produce longer, they're less maintenance. Beef is kind of a niche market for it. So, yeah, I needed one more side project. So,
so these aren't the ones that we've been talking about that there might be a smaller breed where people are actually, what was it, Brent? They said they had a small herd and must have been near a city, and people would pay $75 an hour to cuddle with one of those little cows.
Yeah.
Yeah, as long as you watch the horns. Ours are all very tame, and they're used in show cattle, minor registered, so they've got some good bloodlines. But we can walk out and, they'll eat cake right out of your hand, and they love to be scratched right behind the horns and stuff. And so, yeah, you just, like any animal, a little bit of caution and move pretty fast if they turn their head. But, yeah, it's been fun. The kids enjoy it, and it gives me something to decompress a little. Gardening and now fuzzy cows, my therapy, I guess.
Any catfishing this spring? Are you going to?
Oh, I'm sure we will. The boys like to put out set lines and stuff, and so yeah.
Live right by the
South Loop. Yep.
Yeah, perfect. Sushi has never been available on a steady basis here. Grocery Cart just introduced that this week or last week. Last week. It's gone over gangbusters, and I remember from when you worked here, you were the only one here. Well, I guess Colleen at the time, but Sushi was on your, because you used to travel and sell insurance on the road.
Yep.
And you ate a lot of sushi.
I did. And I've had Grocery Cart sushi, and it's really good. So, yeah, I'm excited. My pocketbook, maybe not so much.
Yeah. So let me write this down. You've got Scotty's Little Cattle. You've had a steady stream of sushi now. And you told us that possums eat ticks.
That's what I've heard. Yeah. Ticks and other bugs and things. And I'd rather have a possum than a tick. So
you would?
And they're hissy and kind of ugly, but they're really not. I don't know. They eat the dog food, but they're not bad to have around.
You think the babies are cute?
I think not the brand new ones, but the little tiny fuzzy ones, yeah, hanging on their mamas.
From a tree.
I know they're not your favorite.
Well, I just remember when I was a kid, my grandma and grandpa's place, this is going to sound terrible, but that's what they did. They couldn't tell whether it was dead, playing possum.
Yeah.
And so they finally put it in a bucket of water and held it underwater for an extended period of time to see if it was. And it was. They had to do that several times. We had one in our garage a while back, and my next door neighbor come over and. Well, I hope the police aren't listening, but we had to shoot it. It was sick.
Yeah.
It was out during the day. I don't know how many times you had to shoot that thing before we knew it was dead.
Oh my gosh. We live trap them, and I'm told they get released far, far away. I don't ask any details, but because we don't like them in the barn and that kind of thing.
We used to do that here. We'd take them out to Joanna Cook's place.
Oh gosh.
Drop them off there.
I can't remember. Did we have their permission? We did, didn't we?
No.
We we did. Okay.
We just took them out.
That'll be the next call you get, right?
You get a cat every once in a while though when you live trap.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Now let's go. Let's go back to business here. All of the things you talked about, you need to sit down or have a Zoom meeting or talk on the phone.
Yep.
With the folks, so they can understand and you can understand what you're shooting for and how it's all going to fit together.
Right, and we we still go out and meet with people. There are still people who are more COVID cautious, and that's totally fine. So we're welcome to do. We're willing to do anything that somebody would like. We're quite skilled at Zoom meetings now, as I think everyone else in the world is. So if you've got that technology and you don't want to see us face to face in your in your space, then that's fine. We can do that. We will come to you. The office would be, is ideal as well. So you don't even have to necessarily be that local. If you're listening, anywhere. The rules vary kind of state to state, but we're licensed in South Dakota and Kansas and Nebraska, Nevada, incidentally. So if you want to buy some property in Vegas, we can help you out with that too. Yeah, it's weird how that stuff happens, but yeah, questions, please give us a call. Chip is still our go-to for your ag and, pivots and all that kind of stuff. We're going to be looking into that. We hope that, we don't need to have them running all year. But if we end up with a dry summer for some reason, you want to make sure those work. And we've just recently gotten a new carrier for pivot insurance that is pricing better with excellent coverage than what we were writing before. So there's just always new options out there. Please call us. Home and auto, your kids going off to school, renters in the summer. Just make sure you have all of those little things covered. But right now, if you have any questions on your health, even if you're not sure because you're offered employer insurance, normally I would say we can't help you with Marketplace. But while they're changing some of those rules too, there are formulas if you would have to pay more for that policy at work than a certain percentage of your income. Let's look at it.
Okay.
So.
And of course, the office is on Main Street in Callaway.
Yep.
And then you have the other locations. Website, since you've made the name change, is it different?
Yep. So it's NebraskaOwnersINS.com.
Okay.
So you'll get to see a little bit about the board members that we work with, information about all of the employees there and the things that we carry and can help you with. So.
All right. Anything that we didn't talk about that you wanted to highlight today?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I have a quick question going back to this new enrollment period that you were talking about. Will people then have to be prepared to renew and go through the enrollment period at the end of this year if they change in this enrollment period?
Yes. So if you change now or you get on a policy because you haven't been insured, then that will carry to the end of December, so the 31st.
Okay.
But unless they change something, November 1st opens the enrollment for 2022.
All right.
So, and we always send out letters to all of our clients, both on the Medicare and the private under 65, so that you're aware of those. It still amazes me, if somebody's had employer insurance all their lives and then now don't for some reason, there's just not a lot of education and
not a lot of information available.
So make sure that you're kind of staying on top of that. One other quick thing I was going to mention, COBRA. If you have been offered COBRA or are on COBRA, also with this American Rescue Plan, those policies are usually fairly expensive. COBRA is what you're offered if you're laid off or quit a job or something like that. They're actually going to be offering credits on those premiums as well.
Wow.
So, check with HR if you're getting it from an employer. Check with me if that's something that you have questions on. And we'll just roll with the punches and keep going.
Go right on forward.
That's right. Yep.
All right. Okay. And I want to say that Chip is hip. And I'm going to go. I know this is not politically correct. I know this is what you should do. But I've been kind of trying to come up with rhymes for Chip is hip, and I couldn't come up with a rhyme for your name.
That's on purpose. My parents wanted a name that you couldn't rhyme something horrible with. So.
But I got close. Lasagna.
In high school, that.
Did they call you
They
lasagna?
did.
Really? Oh, wow.
That was the only thing they could come up with either. So, that zapped me back. Thank you for that.
Oh,
Dave.
boy. Yeah. Oh, boy. Well, I just was going to say, Liana, you're as hot.
Oh, my God.
You're as hot as my wife's lasagna.
I'm not sure that's a compliment, but thank you.
I'm over on an island. I'm off on my island.
Switzerland, good call.
Just, yeah.
He gets so embarrassed. A question from the Mavericks. I want to know.
GK Wine and Spirits. Shop their aisles inside the grocery cart in Broken Bow.
I'm a licensed practical nurse in assisted living facilities. When I look at my residents, I see my mom, my dad, and I'm giving the respect and the care I would want. We've taken an oath to do that, but it's in our hearts to do that.
Helping you understand the choices for your loved one. Visit ourseniorcare.org. Empowering families, protecting seniors. Sponsored by the Nebraska Healthcare Association and aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Pearson Physical Therapy in Broken Bow is seeking a caring, high-energy individual to assist in patient care as a physical therapy technician. Responsibilities include assisting physical therapists with non-clinical tasks, helping patients move through the clinic, keeping treatment areas clean, stocked, and organized, as well as assisting patients with light exercises. High school diploma required, college student or college graduate with previous clinical experience preferred. Wage dependent on experience. Send a cover letter and resume to pearsonphysicaltherapy@gmail.com.
A lot goes into keeping a precision operation moving. The inputs you choose have to deliver results. New Delaro Complete Fungicide from Bayer offers unmatched consistency and the most complete disease control available. Your corn and soybeans are protected and yields higher even in unpredictable conditions. With Delaro Complete, you get results you can count on to help keep your precision operation running smoothly. Always read and follow label instructions. To learn more, visit delarocomplete.us today.
Dave and Brent with you here on the Breakfast Show. Are you okay? I didn't mean to embarrass you there with Liana and the lasagna thing. It just rhymes together so good.
Yeah, it does.
And I didn't realize she was called lasagna when she was in high school.
Yeah, I found that surprising.
Callaway folklore there.
There you go.
Myers Construction is hiring field employees. They're looking for good field employees. You must be willing to travel during the week. Also, a CDL or some construction experience would be preferred. Now, there's great benefits with this job, including health, dental, vision, AFLAC, IRA, vacation. So stop out to the shop at 43671 Rhino Road and fill out an application. Now, this is listed on Sandhills Express, so if you missed any of the details there, just check out sandhillsexpress.com. Why did I X this off? I don't know. So next time you read it, don't.
Okay. Well, what we're going to do now is we have a lot of job opportunities to remind you of again here this morning, so we'll just continue on that theme here. Sargent Drilling Company in Broken Bow is looking for help and is accepting applications for full-time employment. They offer competitive wages, holiday and vacation pay, health insurance, and 401k. A good driving record is required and a CDL preferred. You can apply in person at their office at West Highway 2 in Broken Bow or give them a call at 872-5125. Sargent Drilling Company is an equal opportunity employer.
You may have just heard the ad, but we want to remind you again that Pearson Physical Therapy is seeking a caring, high-energy individual to assist in patient care as a physical therapy technician. Responsibilities will include assisting physical therapists with non-clinical tasks, helping patients move through and about the clinic, keeping treatment areas clean, stocked, and well-organized, as well as assisting patients with light exercises. High school diploma required. It'd be great if you were a college student or graduate. They would take a serious look at you as well. With experience preferred, that would be great. Wage will be dependent on experience. So send a cover letter and resume to pearsonphysicaltherapy@gmail.com. And again, this information is on sandhillsexpress.com.
Some job opportunities available through Callaway Good Life Center. They're looking to build their nursing pool, and we'll get to that information in a moment, but they're also looking to fill a maintenance environmental services position. The primary function of this position is to maintain the facility and grounds, including but not limited to electrical, plumbing, mechanical, snow removal, and grounds maintenance. If you have interest in that position at Callaway Good Life Center, contact Vicki Hendricks, administrator, at 836-2267. As we mentioned, they're also looking to build on their nursing pool. They have openings full or part-time for RNs, LPNs, and CNAs, and they're also offering a hire-on bonus with each of those positions. So if you're interested, contact Brooke Moore, the Director of Nursing at Callaway Good Life Center. And again, the center's number is 836-2267.
Going back to Callaway, Henry's Bar in Callaway is looking for an outgoing, energetic, and friendly bartender to work evening hours from 4 in the afternoon to closing time. Henry is willing to train the right person. Come to work at the newest bar in Custer County, a great opportunity to earn extra income. Give Henry a call at 512-501-0457 or email Henry C. Moore. That's Henry, this is all lowercase, by the way, HENRY-C Moore, which is MOORE at yahoo.com. And they will be willing to work with your schedule, but this is kind of what they have in mind here, 4 p.m. until closing time. And we just have a great story. Gavin put a story up on Henry's Bar in Callaway. It was on the radio yesterday. And the story about Henry's is on Sandhills Express. And I got to go try one of those best margaritas in Nebraska when I get a chance. And it's going to kind of a vacation theme there. And it might be a fun place to work.
There you go. Yeah. I have one more job opportunity in my pile here. The Nebraska Department of Transportation is currently accepting applications for a highway maintenance worker in Broken Bow. For a full job description or to apply, you need to go to their website, statejobs.nebraska.gov. Also, they are currently looking for temporary highway construction technician and temporary highway maintenance workers. Again, you need to fill an online state application out, so go to statejobs.nebraska.gov. The state of Nebraska is an equal opportunity veterans preference employer.
A very nice boss there. Very nice person.
Oh, good.
That always helps.
Mm-hmm.
Mead Lumber in Broken Bow is looking for a sales associate. What this means is you'll be working on the floor and helping customers. Lots of different facets to this job. The position offers a competitive compensation package, an outstanding benefit program, including medical, dental, and employee stock ownership plan, and accrued vacation in the first year. They are looking for a person that would be responsible for such things as sales support functions, office coordination, and assist with some merchandise deliveries. Of course, you'll have to develop a knowledge of the company products, and they'll help you with that. And they're also their philosophy. They want to make sure you get that so that the customers are happy. You must be able to operate a computer and or calculator. You must be able to lift at least 80 pounds and have a valid driver's license and a good driving record. Mead Lumber offers the competitive pay and benefit package, including the vacation and all the things we described, and they are an equal opportunity employer. Check them out on sandhillsexpress.com. Also, switching away for a moment from the job listings, I want to talk a little bit about spring. Spring has sprung on the calendar, and one of these days here in Nebraska, seems like it happens more often than not, we're in spring, it's kind of cool and wet, and maybe it doesn't warm up too much, and then one day spring ends and it's 90 degrees.
Yeah.
We get that every once in a while. And if you're not ready with your cooling system in your home or your business, you can really, kind of be in trouble. And let's face it, when that happens, the guys who service those units are going to be busy for a while. It would be so much easier for you and for the guys to do the job if you would let them know you want things serviced and ready for warmer weather. Or maybe more importantly, you've got something that's kind of crippling along and you want to replace it with something that works better and is more efficient. And Taylor Heating and Cooling can help you with that. They can help keep your home and business cooler or warmer with Dakin products. And Matt or Andy can help you decide on the best system for your home or business. Call them at 872-6196. And I believe that's Daikin, isn't it? Daikin does it all with less energy than your old system. The inverter technology uses 30% less energy than a traditional non-inverter system. So when it comes to cooling your home, your energy bill will get cooler too. Call Matt and Andy at Taylor Heating and Cooling at 6196.
One final thing we want to remind you of, and that's Brubaker's Coffee House and Gifts that you'll find in Arnold, Nebraska. Spring has arrived at Brubaker's. Spring silk flower arrangements and spring decor popping up everywhere right now. And even some spring gnomes that they have at Brubaker's. They have a great gift area. There's new wall decors, some of which have inspiring messages. Others are playful and fun. There's some wall hangings with traveling and exploration-type themes. And don't forget, they carry a lot of novelty gifts and toys and everything. They've got a real nice selection, too, of baby things, in case you're invited to a baby shower coming up. They have a baby section full of soft and playful baby gifts, perfect for baby showers, so check that out. And while you're there, enjoy a delicious drink from Brubaker's, a delicious treat. They will treat you well. So check it out. Brubaker's Coffee House and Gifts, located in Arnold, Nebraska. Tuesday through Friday is when they're open, 8 to 5, and then open on Saturday as well from 9 to 3.
And if you're there and Brad Atkins happens to walk in with his cowboy boots on, folks, please tell him he owes us either the boots or somewhere near $900. He's not done either.
Now, I think it used to be $800. Are you starting to charge, what's the word I'm looking for, interest?
Compound.
Oh, my.
Compound interest. And I don't want to have to go over there and twist those boots off his feet again.
Yeah.
But I will. So we would tell old Brad, he better be sending some money.
Or the boots.
Or the boots. He'll be around there, I can guarantee it.
Yeah.
We'll be back right after this.
Have some money in your pocket from tax time but no vehicle in the garage? Maybe you have a vehicle but it just isn't cutting it. Well, Muddy Creek Auto in Broken Bow is there to help. Use your tax return towards some new wheels you can depend on. Muddy Creek Auto has a great selection of everything from sedans to pickups. They pride themselves on offering affordable prices and quality vehicles, and they will work with you on financing. Shop for your next transportation at Muddy Creek Auto in Broken Bow. They are excited to see you soon at their lot on Highway 2 in Broken Bow.
When you choose Constellation as your natural gas supplier, you can make a difference in your utility bill and for 4-H and FFA in your own backyard. Over the past 9 years alone, Constellation has contributed more than $290,000 to 4-H and FFA, and it's definitely making a difference in Holdridge.
The money we receive from Constellation goes right back into our FFA and 4-H programs across the state of Nebraska.
In Gothenburg.
The support that we get from Constellation is critical to our FFA because without support, we can't do the things that we do.
In Mendon.
The money that's given from Constellation really does help our budget. It helps us provide opportunities for our young people that we wouldn't have had otherwise.
Now is the time to choose Constellation. Visit NebraskaGas.com or call toll-free 877-274-5710. But hurry, the selection period ends Thursday, April 22nd.
Cenex Ruby Fieldmaster Seasonally Enhanced Premium Diesel, a premium fuel with a more complete additive package that gives you quicker, more reliable starts when the temperatures drop. Cenex Premium Diesel, diesel that doesn't mess around. Learn more at Cenex.com.
My mother was very familiar with her neighborhood, but one day she stopped at the stop sign and she wasn't even really sure where she was at.
When something feels different, it could be Alzheimer's. Now is the time to talk. A message from the Alzheimer's Association and the Ad Council.
It's time for planting season. And at Nutrient Ag Solutions, we're ready, leading the field with the largest selection of top-performing corn and soybean seed brands. Get the most out of your acres by partnering with our local crop consultants who can provide custom recommendations and services for your specific field conditions. Choose from top-performing seed brands by visiting nutrientagsolutions.com or your local retail location today.
9:37. We received a letter yesterday in the mail. Hadn't got the mail for a few days, so it could have been in the box a little while. But it was a nice letter from some folks over in the Sergeant Gates area.
Oh, good.
And they have a little goal over there, a little challenge. In fact, it's more than a little challenge. The Gates School on the corner,
yes,
brick structure, has been there a number of years, and of course, school was discontinued there, and they turn it into the Gates Community Center. And people will rent it for all sorts of functions. It's a great place to have a Sunday afternoon family reunion or, a wedding reception or anything like that. Has the bathrooms and the gym, and, it's a pretty cool deal. But the pandemic shut all that down. So revenue the last year has been, non-existent. Plus, during that period of time, they had a leak in the roof. So there's going to be, I'll just give you a hint, there's going to be a fundraiser coming up for that in the near future in April. And we'd like to spend some extra time promoting that here at KCNI KBB. And there's not very many rural schools left out there. And this is one, it's a brick structure. It can be used for other purposes. We understand the one-room schoolhouse that has gone away for the most part makes us feel nostalgic, but their usefulness would, be less over the years. But this building has potential to have some great gatherings in it and be used for community activities. And so I know they're going to try to fix the roof and try to raise some money so they can get back on track now that the pandemic is slowing down. So be listening. We'll have more details on that. Gavin has the letter. He's going to do a story on it. And I don't know, we'll come up with something to where maybe we can help raise some extra money for that and ask you folks to do the same. And I know that folks are in some cases in a little tight situation out there financially, so we understand that. But maybe you're one of those folks that got a little stimulus money that you don't need all of it. You might consider that. And there's always causes out there for us to give to. But that's one I kind of wanted to give you a little heads up on. Last but not least, this is National OK Day.
Okay.
You just said it. Celebrating the origin of one of the English language's most used abbreviations. OK was first used in the 1830s as a slang short form of all correct.
Huh.
Now we use it for a lot more than that. Okay, yeah, sure. All right. Doesn't always mean it's correct. Yeah, you asked me, okay.
Yeah.
But it meant, all correct originally back in the 1800s. So I thought you might want to know that.
Yeah, thanks.
Also, it's Chaka Khan's birthday.
Chaka Khan. All right.
68 today.
Mm-hmm.
Brett Young, country singer.
Yep.
40 years old today. Quite a bit younger than you, 10 years at least. And Brett Eldridge is 35. Whew, man, he's way younger than you. It's his birthday today.
Well, thanks, especially for comparing all of their ages to mine. Appreciate you doing that this morning.
Well, you seem to be a little hung up on getting older, and I'm trying to help.
Oh, yeah, thanks.
Just trying to make a little humor out of it. Don't worry about it. The aches and pains, they're only going to increase, and your energy level is going to, get to where, you'll be excited about going to Sunday school. That'll be the big event of the week for you.
All right.
Other than that, you'll just not have any energy, and unless you get a what do you call it? What's the guy's name that played for the Chicago White Sox? The big guy, the big
Hurt?
Big Hurt. Not
Frank
Big Easy.
Thomas?
Yeah. Unless you take that medicine, then you'll be working out, and
all right,
and the girls are going to love you.
Boy, maybe I need to have some of that.
Something to think about. Also, I still maintain, and I'm going to find out this week, I'm going to get the second COVID shot.
Okay.
And then watch out, world, here we come. But I still maintain that it makes you more romantic, even though the pharmacist said they didn't think so. So I'm going to be like a guinea pig.
Okay.
I'm going to be like a gazebo. And
placebo.
Yeah,
go ahead.
That. And I'll let you know if I feel more romantic after getting the shot.
Well, good. So you're going to get it on Friday.
Right.
So Monday we'll get a report.
Yeah.
Okay.
What happened over the weekend?
Now, are you the one that's going to... I'm just going to be honest. I would rather get the report from Joan on Monday as to whether or not you were more romantic, say, over the weekend because you got the COVID shot.
Well, that's the question. Does it make both the man and the woman feel more romantic, or just the woman or just the man? These are all variables.
Well, that's a good point.
You concur on that?
I do.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, I'm anxious to kind of see how that plays out. over the weekend.
Okay.
All right.
All right. So, last but not least, we're going to give folks out there a chance to register for $250 in gift cards that will be drawn for on May 3rd during the Get 'em Go Breakfast Show. We're going to give 2 packages away. And today's is brought to you by Ollie's Coffee Shop and Boutique in Sargent.
Nice.
And the phone is ringing right now. And I thought we would just enjoy a little ride back to Cumro and ask you guys to call us at 872-2801. And she brought along her dumb husband.
Oh, yeah.
And I sit there and ate breakfast, and
please tell me you didn't converse with too many people.
Well, I tried to, but the professors just gave me a funny look.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. They could tell I wasn't educated. All right. Let's bullwhack out of here.
All right, let's go.
Do it. Have a good one.
See you tomorrow.